Hi all, so today I'm going to be talking you through how to configure and program your Dnake S615-4G kit, which is a 4G video intercom system supplied for one to multi-way users and is all managed via their cloud platform. So I'm going to be talking you through how to configure the device and then configure this on the cloud. So first things first, we want to go to the device and log into it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to connect into this. So if you go to the IP address of the device supplied, now the IP address of this by default will be set to a static IP address, which we'll set out of the box, and we'll set that to 192.168.1.100. The reason we do that is so that it's very easy for you to kind of navigate and find this on the network itself without having to scan a network and find out if it was set to DHCP, whether it's kind of assigned itself a new IP address. And it also helps us kind of know what information to set up on the cloud with. So first things first, go to the IP address, open your web browser, go to that IP address, it'll take you to this login screen here. And the default login for this is admin123456 and click sign in. Now, before you go ahead and go any further, just verify that you have got the cloud firmware installed on this device, as there are usually a couple of versions of firmware out there, but to get this set up on the cloud, you must have the cloud firmware installed. It's very straightforward. If you don't have that installed, you can go to System and upgrade and import the firmware in that way. Next thing we need to do, there's only one step now we need to do in order to get this setup ready for the cloud, and that's go to the intercom drop down menu on the left and click on phone book. And what we're doing here is adding the information for how it would appear on the call station and also the room number or apartment number that it's going to be set up or associated with. So I'm going to call this one demo road. Make sure that the type is set to room number, and I'm going to enter in here the room number or the house number that it's associated with. This is a numerical field, so it's not alphanumeric. You cannot put in if it's a series of houses, 1A, 1B, 1C, then you would have to reconfigure that so it's room or house number 1, 2, and 3. You can obviously still have the name as they come up on the front display. There's 1A, 1B, 1C, but the room number must be associated as a numerical format. So I'm going to call this just room number 1. Right, press OK. So that's now saved. Now I'm ready to kind of get this set up and registered on the cloud. So first thing I would recommend before doing this is take down the device information. Just make sure that the building number, unit number, and index number is set. I'll just set those all as 1, and then go to the network settings and just make sure you've got noted down all of the information from the network settings here as well. So if we head over to the cloud login, and you'll notice on this page here there is no registration option for you to register for the cloud access. And the reason for that is when you purchased this kit originally, a registered account will have been set up for you by the distributor who sold the kit to you. And basically all you need to give them is some information of who you are, company details, and an email address. And once set up and the licenses have been applied to you, you'll get an email notification from Dnake with a login. So using that information that you've registered with, if you click login, and what you'll see here, this will take you to your dashboard that's been set up. And this dashboard will show you all the licenses you've got that's been used and all the devices that are online, etc. You'll also see that you can switch between the installer account and the property manager account here. And that's so that you can both program all of the devices on this section here. And then as the property manager, you could administer the tenants and the residents information on there as well for the app uses or app access. If the end user or the property owner wishes to be able to administer the users themselves, you can set them up as a property manager in this section here on the left hand side. So go to Property Manager tab and then press Add, and it will ask you to fill in all of their information. And then what that will do is create them a login of their own, so that they can administer the residence and the so if you had a tenant move out, for instance, then they can remove that tenant and add the new tenant's information or the new resident's information. But for the purpose of this video, obviously, because we, as an installer/reseller, you can switch between the two of your own. I'm just going to leave that as it is. So first thing we need to do in terms of registering this with the cloud is set it up as a project, and this would be like a site that you'd set up. So I'm going to click Add and then just give this the name of Dnake S615-4G demo, and select the region, which is UK, and then select the property manager. Now, if you had created another property manager here, that would appear in this drop down, but I'm just going to select myself for now because I want to administer the residence licenses. Fill in all the rest of the information if you need be, but there's no mandatory fields here, so I can now click OK. So next step would be to actually register the call station itself, the S615. So if I go onto devices here, and I want to click Add. Now, if you recall, I did say if you keep a note of the network information and the other details of the product there, this is the reason why, because it's going to ask you for this now. But if you are connected to the same network and you're on a laptop, what have you, you can still flip between the two to get this information. So the first thing it's going to ask you for is the MAC address. Now, the MAC address is located on the information page, and you can easily just copy and paste all of this information over. Device type, we want to select that and select door station. The device number, again, this information is on the login for the actual intercom itself. So I want to just make sure that all of this matches up. So device 1, select the project which I've created earlier, building 1, unit 1, and then just give it a device name. So this is something that you can create now. So I'm going to call this Dnake 615 demo. And network. Now, you must select, if I've given it a static IP address, which I have, then I must select IP, and this is where it's going to ask you for the information that's been programmed to it. So again, you can switch between, go to network on the left here, and all of this information is present here. So this is the information I want to copy over. So I'm going to go back to that, fill in all this information here. Links, gateway, and DNS, and then press OK. Now, when I press OK, it's going to start trying to synchronize with the device, and providing it's plugged in, it's online, it's got access to the network, and it's the SIM cards installed correctly there. Now this will now come up as synced, and it will status will go online. So before you go any further, just make sure that this step has come up as synchronized and the status has gone online. Now, as I said before, the 615 can be for a multi-way system, so it can be as many as one user, right up to however many users that you've applied for. So if it's a 10-way intercom system, at the time of purchase, you would have purchased that many licenses for that number of houses or properties. So the next thing I want to do is go back to project and add those licenses to this project. So if I click on project on the left, and on the right hand side here, you'll see I've got license management. So if I click on that, what it's going to ask me to do now is add or apply that license to this project. So I need to make sure I select door station direct call. And that is because I've literally, all I've got is a door station with a 4G module attached. And then I want to increase the licenses, add 1, and then press OK, or add as many as you've got on this system. So if you've got 10 apartments or what have you, you enter 10 licenses, which will have been applied to your account. Then press OK. So now up to this stage, I'm now ready to start administering the users. So if I've added the device, it's all online. I can monitor it from my portal here, from my from the device list here. But now I'm ready to start adding users to this device so that they can use the app. So what I want to do is switch to my property manager account, which has now got that project associated with it, and select the project that you've created. So this is now your property manager dashboard. This is where you can see all the licenses that are being used, etc. And obviously the devices that you've got associated with that site. And what I want to do is just basically show you where to manage the residence. So if I click on the drop down for residence and then click resident here, and this has got no information in at the moment, so if I click in add here, and what I want to do is select door station direct call, because I've got no indoor monitors attached to this installation. And then select the building number and the unit number, which has already been filled in because it was set up on the installer account section. And then the number is the number of the apartment that you wanted to call. So again, if I flip back to here and go back to my phone book that I've set up, I've set that up as number 1. So make sure that that matches in this field here. So number 1, first name, in my details here, select the region, okay, put in a phone number, 555, email address. I'm going to put in my personal email address because my other ones are still being used on a different account. Language, and then app permissions, make sure you select subscribed, and it will ask you which door station it is that you're subscribed to. Now obviously I've only got the one set up on here, so I'm just going to select that one and then press OK. Now what it's doing is it's waiting for me to log into this app. So once I'm logged into this app, this video service will come up as activated as soon as I'm logged in. Now this information could be added, administered at any time at all. But essentially that's all I need to do. And now once that comes up as activated, when someone uses the call station, it will call through to their app. Like I say, they'll get an email with a username and password with a link to the app to download, and they'll just put in the email address they registered with and the password that was sent to them. Again, the first thing it will ask them to do is change the password on their first login. So they put in the password that they wish. Again, that makes it more secure. And that's it. So that's basically all you need to know in terms of how to set up the S615 and how to set up residents, etc. But all of this is managed via their Dnake online platform, their cloud platform. And yeah, any kind of residents that you need to remove, you can do by deleting and then adding another tenant if someone's moved out. Others, obviously, the proximity tags that you can add or administer here as well. There's a USB programming tool that you can read the cards with or read the tags with, so that you can remotely add their proximity tags without having to go to site and read it at the props reader itself. And there is another feature on here which is coming soon in the installer section here, where you can go to the device and you can access the device via the web server as well. There's a new firmware update coming out for that, which will basically just log you in, and once you've clicked on that, it will take you to the login screen to actually log in and access all of this programming information on here. So it's a gateway portal to be able to administer and access all of these settings here as well. For more information, if you've got any questions or queries, please do contact us via technical@easygates.co.uk or give us a call on 01384 569 942. Thanks for listening.